Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me in this new episode of Star Trek the Original Series. So, today's turn is for Season 2, Episode 10, Journey to Babel. So, once again, I am in one of the highest voted episodes, and I think this is the first third of the second season. So, I already watched Amok Time, which was the highest voted episode, and then I watched The Doomsday Machine, which was the second most voted episode. And in this turn, this is not the third most voted, but this is the fourth most voted episode, which is Journey to Babel. So, I have no idea what I am going to be expecting for the middle or the end of the second season. I already said it in my previous episode, so please tell me everything's gonna be okay. But I've also had my surprises, like nobody voted for Tomorrow is Yesterday and turned out to be a really good episode, one of my favorites actually. So I might have a couple of surprises, I don't know, just don't spoil me. So for today's snack, I got black iced tea and cheese popcorn with Alta Valentina. Neither Flash or Robin are with me because they just got their food. But I think I'm gonna bring Flash before I start watching. Anyway, let's get this done.
Dress uniform, spit and polish. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to stand this.
Is that McCoy complaining?
Vulcans are the last group of delegates we have to pick up as soon as we get them aboard to be able to relax.
Shouldn't Vulcans know by now that he died in Vulcan?
Shuttlecraft approaching with Ambassador Sarek's party. Estimate arrival 1 minute.
Bring them aboard, Mr. Chekhov.
Under guard to the hangar deck.
Oh, honor guard.
Clear hangar deck. Depressurizing.
That's a lot of red shirts. Ooh, look at that. Oh. Oh.
How does that Vulcan salute go?
Haven't you seen him doing it for, ages?
It's worse than the uniform.
No, it doesn't.
My first officer, Commander Spock.
As us with your presence, we come to serve.
Your service honors us.
What happened here?
Medical officer, Dr. McCoy.
Ambassador?
Doctor.
He didn't salute Spock? What an...
As soon as you're settled, I'll arrange a tour of the ship. Mr. Spock will conduct you.
I prefer another guide.
What is his problem?
Ambassador Sarek and his wife are my parents.
What?
Space.
I have to pause it, because if the noise from the intro sounds, I get demonetized anyway. But okay, to begin with, the father looks familiar, but I don't know where I've seen him before. Looks like the Romulan. 2, what's his problem with Spock? And 3, it's super unprofessional to bring personal matters here. So unless this is an absolutely work-related thing, but still, why would you take it personal? I prefer another company. Okay.
Control computers.
After all these years among humans, and you haven't come to see us in 4 years either.
I was thinking this woman looks human, but of course she is.
My wife, that's it.
What an ass. I mean, if you're gonna hold a grudge against your son, you should let your wife talk to her son.
I gave Spock his first instruction in computers, Captain, instead of the Vulcan Science Academy.
Oh.
If you will excuse me, Captain.
You too? What's with the fingers?
Sorry, Master.
Is that how you hold hands?
It's a better way than ours, but it's not easy. It has kept Spock and Sarek from speaking as father and son for 18 years.
Holy crap.
Is my Spock disagreed with his father on a choice of career.
But Vulcans believe that peace should not depend on force.
Starfleet force is used only as a last resort. We're an
exploration,
instrument of
isn't it?
civilization.
But Sarek wanted Spock to follow his teachings, as Sarek followed the teachings of his own father.
How is that logical?
Captain, I picked up some sort of signal. Just a few...
Source?
Impossible to locate. There wasn't enough of it. Sensors show nothing in the area, but it was a strong signal as though it was very close.
What?
The Interplanetary Conference will consider the most pressing problem aboard the Enterprise is to make sure that open warfare does not break out among the delegates before the
What a
conference
danger
begins.
to bring all that people on your ship.
Isn't it unusual for a Vulcan to retire at your age? After all, you're only 102.
Only. My grandfather died older.
My government's instructions will be heard in the council chambers.
No, you! How do you vote, Sarek of Vulcan?
Tellarites do not argue for reasons. They simply argue.
No, you...
Gentlemen, Ambassador Sarek is...
My apologies, Captain. You will excuse me.
They don't seem happy.
Ambassador Gab lost.
I love her already.
Did he ever run and play like the human children?
Well, he did have a pet sailor he was very fond of. Fat teddy bear.
He was a child. What is that?
It's not a question of approval. The fact exists. He is in Starfleet.
So?
He must command respect if he is to function.
Sarek.
But he
You're proud
does.
of him, aren't you? I love you anyway. I know. It isn't logical.
Personal either. Oh!
Starfleet acknowledges report on our situation and confirms. No authorized Federation vessel in this quadrant.
All those people having to wear colors on their skin.
Vulcan, I would speak to you.
It does seem unavoidable.
How do you vote?
We favor admission.
You favor? Why?
Corridon has nearly unlimited wealth of dilithium crystals.
Oh!
But some of your ships have been carrying Corridon dilithium crystals.
You call us thieves? There will be payment for your slanders.
Ah, yeah, whatever, you
Threats
pigface.
are
Oh my god, his hands! Is he dead?
Security to Captain Kirk.
Kirk here.
Lieutenant Joseph, sir. I'm on deck.
Kirk, you almost had it.
It's the ambassador himself, sir.
Now he's got a big issue on his ship.
His neck was broken
Oh.
by an expert.
Explain. Who aboard would have that knowledge?
Right now, anybody.
Vulcans. Spock, do you realize
Yes.
that makes your father the most likely suspect?
If there were a reason, my father is quite capable of killing, logically and efficiently.
Has he ever? I'd ask that.
His neck was broken, Mr. Ambassador, by what Spock describes as Tal Shaya.
But it's not like somebody else cannot learn this, right?
Then where were you during the hour?
In private meditation, Captain.
Horrible alibi.
That's a very convenient excuse.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do not kill him. So how does this connect with the ship that is tailing them? I mean, I'm pretty sure this is related, but how?
From the alien ship's hull.
I'm sorry about your father.
Yes, it could adversely affect our mission.
Stop it! Stop it! You're half human.
Worry is a human emotion, Captain.
You should be half worried.
The Romulans have nothing like it. Certainly not the Federation or the neutral planets. What about the Klingons?
I think it unlikely it is one of theirs.
This is... I'm sorry. This guy started speaking about Romulans and Klingons, and I feel so weird that actually everything that is being said right now makes sense to me.
The directional locator indicates reception point somewhere within the body of this ship.
Somebody on board is in
Yeah,
contact with that
what?
vessel. Lieutenant, you've got your sensor locator on a wide beam who's established receiver on board this vessel. Tighten your field to the interior of the ship.
Yes, sir.
What happened there? What? Okay.
With Vulcan physiology, it's impossible to tell without an operation.
Oh, shit.
Has he had any previous attacks?
No.
Yes, or
What?
3 others.
And you didn't tell her?
Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
There was nothing you could have done.
That's not the point!
When did you have these attacks?
2 before we left Vulcan. The third,
Oh,
few
the
hours
meditation.
I was on the observation deck. Because of the construction of the Vulcan heart,
Suggest that a serogenic open heart procedure would be the logical approach.
unquestionably.
Bones, what about it?
I'm glad somebody's asking me something around here.
There isn't enough Vulcan blood and plasma on board to even begin an operation of this type.
My blood type is T negative.
Oh,
Somewhat
T
rare.
negative.
We've run a number of blood tests on Mr. Spock. It isn't true Vulcan blood either. It has human blood elements in it.
Even you couldn't give that much blood, Spock. It would kill you.
Bones.
He's unkillable.
Oh, I've studied the anatomical types. I know where all the organs are. That's a lot different from actual surgical experience.
Especially without someone guiding you.
It could damage you internally. It could kill you.
Of course he doesn't care.
I won't risk both of you.
Then you automatically condemn Sarek to death.
Yeah.
If you do not operate, Sarek will die. You now have the means to perform the operation.
But I mean, his hands are pretty much tied at this point, aren't they? What? What the heck's happening here? Did he hit him with his bum? Oh, I thought he'd stab him. Why didn't his... Did he... Oh, he did stab him.
I've been attacked by an Andorian.
Andorian, okay. This guy's gonna faint!
Captain.
He did.
It's a bad wound. Punctured left lung.
Oh, man! This guy would be coughing his blood out. There's no way he could breathe that easily.
I have to operate immediately. We can begin as soon as you're prepared.
No, Doctor.
What?
What?
My first responsibility is to the ship. We are being followed by an alien, possibly hostile vessel.
Yeah, he has...
Cannot relinquish command under these circumstances.
You can turn command over to Scotty.
Yes. Or Sulu.
Command requirements do not recognize personal privilege.
But it is not personal privilege. You're the only one with his blood type.
My people are a violent race, but we had no quarrel with Captain Kirk.
Then why did he kick his ass?
Perhaps you should forget logic.
I mean... I have no idea what the name of the race with the pig snout guy is. But these guys were against voting to include another race into whatever. And the Vulcans were like, no, we're gonna vote to include them because it's good business. Like, they are unprotected and they have a lot of resources that we can use and we can protect them at the same time, alright? So, apparently, no one wants to vote for this. So, is it taking out the captain a way to leave Sarek without protection because they know that Sarek has a lot of influence with his vote? I mean, could be.
Devote yourself to motivations.
Yeah, exactly, motivations.
I took an oath to carry out responsibilities which were clearly and exactly specified.
Plus, his dad would be pissed.
Can you imagine what my father would say if I were to agree?
Exactly, he would be pissed.
Jeopardize hundreds of lives, risk interplanetary war, all for the life of one person.
Plus, the father wants this guy to have a lot of respect. What a tough decision this is.
I cannot.
That look hard. Holy shit, that look hard. Looked like a proper slap on the face.
I'd like to get my hands on the guy with the sledgehammer.
The one who hit you?
No, the one inside my head.
Not good. I can only operate.
But what if Kirk commands... Oh, but he
Thought you
can't
were
right
all right.
now.
I'll convince Spock I'm all right and order him to report here. As soon as he leaves the bridge, I'll turn command over to Scotty and report to my quarter.
Now, since I have an operation to perform and both of us are required,
Get out, Spock.
He's not gonna buy it.
Captain, I'm picking up the alien signal again.
Shit! What a bad moment!
Specific origin.
From the brig, sir.
What? Ah, green blood, of course. Was that like spinach juice?
Greetings, nurse.
Mr. Spock.
What are you
Where do you
doing?
think you're going?
I must see the captain.
No, you don't.
The norm should be Oscar. Identify him, sir.
Just go back to sleep, honey. That's alright. But apparently the information he has is pretty important. Stun? Oh! That was the antenna. A literal antenna.
Sort of transceiver. It was hidden in his antenna.
Captain.
Do they grow back?
Phaser, stand by to fire on my
This
order.
guy's dying. Ah!
All the ambassadors are asking what's going on.
Tell them to take a good guess, but clear that board, Lieutenant.
He's already awake again.
Doctor, his heart stopped.
Cardiostimulate.
If they hit us there again, it'll go all together.
They got hit again.
You're not Andorian. Who are you?
Okay.
Who are you?
Find your own answers, Captain. You haven't long to live.
We're dead as far as he knows.
You're baiting him.
Fire.
Okay. Aww.
Secure from general quarters.
Can someone please take
Lieutenant,
me to sick
Open the
bay?
hailing frequency. They wish to surrender.
Holy
See, I had orders to self-destruct too.
He's gonna kill himself.
Poisoning, but there's no known antidote.
Oh, he's dead from long ago. Shouldn't you be in sick bay?
Spock, Sarek, how are they?
Well, I don't mind telling you, you sure make it difficult for a surgeon trying to...
Bones!
Intelligence reports that Orion smugglers have been raiding the Corridon system.
But what would they gain by an attack on Starfleet?
Mutual suspicion and interplanetary war.
Yeah, they were making quite a run inside the ship.
Clean up by supplying dilithium to both sides and continue to raid Corridon.
Oh.
That ship was constructed for a suicide mission since they never intended to return to their home base.
Oh.
Why I didn't think of it earlier.
You might have had
Something else.
Because you were worried?
Or at least seems likely.
No, but thank you anyway.
And you, Sarek, would you also say thank you to your son
I don't understand.
for saving your life?
You...
Spock acted in the only logical manner open to him.
No!
Do you want to know how I feel about your logic?
Emotional, isn't she?
She has always been that way.
Indeed. Why did you marry her?
What a family.
No.
If you keep arguing...
This guy, how come he hasn't just crushed the floor?
Doctor, I think I'll return to my station now.
You are at your station, Mr. Spock.
I'm...
I believe you're enjoying all
Yes,
this.
he is.
I've never seen him look so happy.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. Neither of you two are in charge.
Well, what do you know? I finally got the last word.
Did he break the fourth wall? This episode was really good. I really enjoyed it. 11 votes in this case. It gave us a lot of information about Spock. Go figure. We always learn something about Spock, about his anatomy, his rituals, and now we learned about his family. So again, I also got to see a lot of new elements here, like new alien races. We saw different colors, like light blue aliens and pink aliens, and aliens that look like pigs. We saw a lot of people dressed as civilians, and this is like a special episode considering that they had to transport over 100 what is it, diplomats on the ship. So this is a very important and a very delicate kind of mission because you have so many important people out there. And I mean, you have to also consider that he has like 400 people on that ship plus another 100, so he has a lot of responsibility on the ship right now. I feel I've seen the father somewhere else, so I'm gonna go check. Mark Leonard. Mark Leonard or Mark Leonard? I don't know. He was born 1924, done 1996. American actor, primarily in television. His most famous role was as Sarek in Star Trek. In both the original and animated series, as well as 3 films and 2 episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation. Okay. He also played a Klingon in Star Trek The Motion Picture and a Romulan in Star... See, okay. So he is the guy from Balance of Terror. So I didn't want to point him out. Like, he is the same guy. But wasn't it too obvious to have played a Romulan and then a Vulcan? Because he's definitely the same guy. Okay. Wyatt had been widely known for 1950s sitcom Father Knows Best, where she played Eleanor Donahue's mother. On a previous Star Trek episode, Donahue was a guest actor playing Commissioner Nancy Hepford, who became Severin Cochrane's companion. Yeah, I remember. It's Nancy. I saw the name later. Nancy Hepford. This episode introduces the Andorian and Tellarite species. Oh! Okay. I totally missed that one. Jon Wheeler, the actor who played the Tellarite ambassador, Gav, had difficulty seeing through the eye holes. No kidding! That was actually quite obvious. He was like, "What? Yeah, I can see you." And was forced to raise his head in a seemingly arrogant manner in order to see the other actors. I'm sorry, but when you have a pig face, you cannot look arrogant, no matter how much you try. The Andorian antenna spreading out of the back of the head in his and other episodes of the original series were depicted in the later Star Trek Enterprise series as coming out of the forehead and capable of movement. That would have looked awesome. In 1996, for the franchise's 30th anniversary, TV Guide ranked Journey to Babel as number 5 on its list of the 10 best Star Trek episodes. Okay, so this is a big episode. For what I can see in many different sources like Sci-Fi, The Hollywood Reporter, and many others consider this to be like one of the top episodes. Business Insider, Newsweek, Vox, Inverse, Screen Rant, CBR, they all mention Journey to Babel to a point. And I think the reason why they do that is because of Sarek, Amanda, and Spock, obviously, and also the part of so many other different races that we now got to see them. We got to see specifics like they are blue, they are pink, they have antenna, they have snouts, they can't see through the prosthetics, whatever it is. But this is a fun episode because it really takes us to places where we wanted to see. We want to know more alien races, and most of the times we only get to see one alien race at a time. So in this case, it was very nice to see them, like, you know, in the same space and being with everybody, like, you know, just having a nice time together. I enjoyed this part of the episode, but what I also liked about this episode is not just the visual aspect of it, is the dilemma that both Spock and Kirk have to go through. I mean, Spock having to decide between family and duty, and we know what he's gonna choose, okay? And now we know Kirk, and we know what he's gonna choose. So of course they need to do things. We knew that Spock had to donate blood. That was a given. But the reasons for it, so they had to do things in the proper manner, but doing things in the proper manner meant risking Kirk's life, having received a wound that damaged his lung, and he was able to withstand a battle against another ship. It's amazing. I understand why Scotty was never on screen, but he was just mentioned, and then he was just like, okay, Chekhov, you take over. So yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen Chekhov actually taking over the ship, because neither Sulu nor Scotty were there. I saw many accents in this movie, many details that were like, what? Like the way that Kirk talked to Uhura, like, hey, you have this, do it this way, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, he's paying attention. He knows what he's doing. He's always on the right, state of mind, but still, what was that? Another thing was that we saw another new set. I had never seen the hangar of the ship. And we also got to see a little bit of protocol by receiving the ambassadors during this guard of honor, I think. This was also a very nice thing to see. Now, Spock did tell her something like, how come after all these years you haven't learned the Vulcan way? I don't think it's that, but they also have to respect the fact that she is human. And now the fact that Sarek learned everything and learned everything from his father and took the way of his father, and he was expecting for Spock to do the same, it's kind of illogical because he's half human. Now, another thing that I have to say is that McCoy was also incredibly Now, another thing that I have to say is that McCoy was incredibly brave by performing a surgery that he had never performed before. He had no guidance but everything he knew, and he still made a successful job. I imagine this episode is also taken as reference for a lot of knowledge in, the Star Trek verse, considering like all the different races they are that are mentioned, and also all the data that we got about Vulcan physiology. So I think this is why a lot of people like this episode. Plus, the other ship, the way that it attacked was actually kind of interesting, like going super fast, and the fact that they were kamikaze. They were using full tilt, full power to do their mission, and it makes sense actually to get them. Like, they had all the power in the world because they were never coming back. Talk about commitment. Anyway, thank you for joining me in this episode. Thank you for voting for this episode. It was very interesting. Because when I watch these episodes, I'm watching them with subtitles. I mean, please understand that English is not my native language. This is the first thing, and they have a lot of vocabulary that I just don't understand at, in the first sitting. So I need to watch them with subtitles. So sometimes certain details just go over my head, and when I start editing the video, that's when I go like, oh. And sometimes I add a little bit of comment, although I don't like it because strictly speaking, it's not a reaction. Well, it should be like a reaction, not to my reaction. Well, it could be a reactionception. Anyway, thank you for joining me in this episode. I'll see you in the next one. God bless, and bye-bye.